You'd be pretty stupid to carry on this smuggling racket with a department spy in the prison, wouldn't you? That is, of course, unless she happens to be on your side.
I think you've just earned yourself a charge.
Oh, yeah? What are you going to tell Davo? That I gave you cheek about Maxie's fence drop this arvo?
Fence drop? What are you talking about?
You are rostered on duty in H Block, so you stay there until you're relieved.
Yes, I know that, but I'm looking for contraband. My information is that there's to be a smuggling drop over the fence this afternoon.
Well, what surprises me more than anything else is that you believe Smith.
I didn't, but we can't take any chances, can we?
Daniels follows her around like a shadow, so why would Smith lag on her?
Depends what's being smuggled in. Now, we all know how Smith feels about drugs.
All right, I suppose it's possible. Let's go and question Daniels and see what we can find out.
Well, just don't overdo it tomorrow, Lizzie. You leave the heavy work to us.
Oh, God, anyone would think I had one bloody foot in the grave. I don't want to stay in the kitchen all the time. Would it be all right with you if I left sometimes, Miss Daniels?
I will think about it, Mrs. Birdsworth.
By Jab Bum, I just want to meet some different people, that's all.
Thanks very much.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we could have scored better than what we have. Some of those girls that live with Jude are a bit off. But between that Lindy and Mrs. Collins, I'll never get to know Trevor.
Well, you said he was a bit backward and coming forward yourself, didn't you?
Well, who wouldn't be with a mother like that? Look, I just want to be friends, and I haven't given up yet.
Outside, Daniels.
Who, me?
Did I mention anyone else?
Come on, Daniels, move it.
God, I wonder what's happening.
I don't know. It looks like they meant business, though.
You didn't open your mouth about the grog, did you?
Of course not. Anyway, that was days ago. The screws wouldn't have waited around till now to do something about it, would they?
Why not? They don't think too quick.
Bugger the grog. It's Maxie. She's really gonna cop it.
Well, we'll just have to wait and find out. And if anybody else gets dragged out, keep your mouths shut. And Maxine had better be doing the same.
Well, what have I done?
Don't waste my time, Daniels. Now, we know that you've been having goods smuggled in from the outside, and we would like the details.
What goods? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with us, Daniels.
Well, I don't know who or where you got your information from, but it's wrong.
Really? Well, perhaps you won't find it so easy to lie when we confiscate your latest shipment.
What?
Take her back to the others for now. I'll organise a thorough search of the perimeter fence.
Right.
What the bloody hell are you both on about?
Don't, Daniels. I warned you about organising anything while Clark's in here.
Well, I'm not. What's Po-Face organising a search now for? She's a bit late, isn't she?
Not from what I've heard.
Oh, yeah, which is what?
That you're expecting a drop over the fence this afternoon.
Yeah? Well, it's news to me. Who put you onto that?
Your good mate, Smith.
B?
That's right. She told me herself. She's not too happy about our little arrangement, is she?
B wouldn't lag. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. I certainly don't know nothing about a load of goods coming over the fence.
You'd better not, Daniels, because if I find out that you do, you and I are going to have another little chat. Don't get too settled, Daniels. We'll be calling on you later.
What you do, Maxie?
They think I've been getting goods smuggled in from the outside.
We don't think, Daniels, we know. And we're going to put a stop to it.
Who's she putting on a show for? Super spy. Who else?
God, I don't know what to believe anymore.
How'd the screws get onto you, love?
The freak reckons B lagged.
Oh, but you wouldn't lag.
If you don't believe it, do you?
I I don't know. She was really against the trading and the insurance. Maybe she just had enough.
She wouldn't lag.
Yeah, well, maybe she's just having a joke on the screws.
Some joke when you put a mate in at the same time.
Well, whatever she did it for, she must have had a bloody good reason.
Maybe it was just a diversion so she could get over the wall.
Yeah, but I'm just not going to leave it at that. I'll see her at dinner time and find out why she did it.
Found anything?
No, not a thing. Still can't believe B would have lagged on Maxine. Must be a joke or something.
Yeah, well, of course that's possible, but Daniel seemed genuine enough. I'll talk to Smiths.
She's on kitchen duty.
Is she? I was in there just before the break and she wasn't there.
Well, that's where she's supposed to be.
I don't like the sound of this.
Neither do I. We better find her quick.
An immediate head count. Come on. Everybody's accounted for everywhere else.
We've definitely got one missing here. No prizes for guessing who it is.
Lock them up. I'll inform the governor.
All right, ladies. Back to your dormitories.
Maybe I was right after all, Birdbrain. Looks like your little playmate's gone and left you.
Shut your bloody big mouth, Mackenzie. What's going on, Mr. Sam?
No questions, Lizzie. Back into your cell.
Oh, God, first they take me out of the laundry, now they're putting us in our cell.
It's enough, Daniels.
Oh, beware, oh, love.
All the women are in their cells.
Did any of them say anything?
No, they didn't. They seem just as curious as we are.
Well, we organised a thorough search of the building. I don't want anyone panicking at this stage. It's my bet she is still in the building, waiting until tonight. Why do you say that? There have been no delivery vans in or out. No sign of a break through the fence. Well, let's hope you're right. It's an interesting time for the trainees to be doing their practical, isn't it?
The trainees. Now, she might have slipped out with them.
Oh, she would have needed a uniform. Where would she get it from?
The staff room. She was on kitchen duty, and some of us would have had spare uniforms in our lockers. I know I did.
Would you check that, please, Miss Ferguson? I'll speak to the gate guard straight away.
The only thing I don't like about this is that Nola's right. They must use that story about me as a diversion to get away.
Of course she did. B wouldn't lag on a mate. And the freak would have fallen for it because she would have been worried that you and Nola would try to put one over her.
Yeah.
I wonder how she set it up.
Attention, everybody. The governor wants to speak to you.
Listen, let's see what's going on.
As you are probably aware, B. Smith is missing. We suspect she has escaped. Now, if any of you know anything, I expect your full cooperation. If she is on the run, she is in great danger. The police have been alerted and will be on the lookout for her.
Oh, God. They'll shoot first and they'll ask questions later. Mrs. Davidson, can I talk to you, please?
Unlock her to her cell, please, Miss Ferguson.
Well, Lizzie, do you know where B is?
No, Mrs. Davidson, I wish I did. None of us know anything. If she was going to tell anyone, she would have told me.
Well, that's right, Mrs. Davidson.
Yes. Yes, I believe you are telling the truth, Lizzie. Thank you.
Oh, Mrs. Davidson, please tell the cops she's not dangerous. B, take care of yourself, love.
Well, it seems we're looking for a very clever lady. Although her escape couldn't have been any easier if it were handed to her on a plate.
That is not the case at all, Sergeant.
The facts, Mrs. Davidson, are that Smith waltzed out of here this afternoon, hair dyed with some product I believe can't be obtained from the buyer, and in complete officer's uniform belonging to you, Miss,
Ferguson?
Ferguson. She also managed to trick, I believe it was you again, Miss Ferguson, into leaving your post so that she could join the crowd of trainee officers that were here today.
Miss Ferguson had good reason to follow up the information she received.
From Smith?
That's correct.
You believe that a so-called top dog would lag on one of her mates?
Smith's attitude to drugs is well known in this prison. I assume that that's what would be coming over the fence.
Well, does Daniels have any record for pushing drugs?
No, she doesn't, but I don't see that proves anything. Boredom is the greatest evil in this place, Sergeant, and if the women feel that drugs will help ease that boredom, then they'll try to get them. Daniels was questioned, and Mrs. Powell was of the impression that the prisoner was in fact guilty.
But your officers found nothing in the grounds?
No, nothing.
And you questioned the women yourself about this escape, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes. Birdsworth is very close to Smith, and she claims that the women didn't help Smith whatsoever. I'm inclined to believe her.
Oh, so am I. I'd say Miss Ferguson gave her all the help she needed.
I resent that implication. There is no evidence to suggest...
Enough, Miss Ferguson. Sergeant, what steps have you taken to recapture Smith?
Normal procedures, plus a full description of Smith has been circulated to the media and will be publicised as soon as possible.
I would prefer the papers did not receive details of the full escape.
No, that's got nothing to do with me. We'll be getting an official statement from the department. It'll be up to them. Well, thank you for your time, ladies.
I'll see them out, Miss Ferguson.
Do you know exactly how Smith got out?
No comment.
Is it true she literally walked through these gates? Who was on duty at the time?
I'm sorry, I can't give you any details. You'll have to wait for the official statement from the department.
I believe Smith's quite an important figure in the prison. The women know her as their top dog, is that right? Well, is this the same B. Smith who wrote articles for the Dispatch some months back?
Look, I've told you I can't answer your questions. Now, you're all blocking the main entrance here, so will you please clear the driveway?
That'll do, Max. Not going to get anything out of him. Start rolling again. Here comes one of the officers. Excuse me. Have you been on duty all day? Can you tell us anything about B. Smith's escape?
No, I can't.
Well, what's the department's feeling on what's happened?
No comment.
Well, it seems Smith had no trouble in getting out this afternoon. Yeah, she's well disguised from the description we've been given.
Look, I have had the misfortune of seeing you on television, and I'm not interested in your sensational garbage. Now leave me alone.
I think we'll edit that out, Max. Set up for a general report. Cut in some of the footage you got on the gate guard. We might be able to use some of what she said, but I doubt it.
Come on, Lizzie.
Oh, stop pushing me. I'm trying to sort out what sort of cards to keep.
I've been doing that for 5 minutes. Come on.
If you don't want me to play, just say so.
Oh, you've ruined the whole game now.
Great. It's getting on my nerves anyway.
What's wrong, Lizzie?
Ask me what's wrong with Bea out there and a lot of trigger-happy cops after her.
Well, she can look after herself.
Yeah, well, she's been doing that a bit too long, hasn't she? And there's not any of us here who've done anything to help her.
Oh, come on, Lizzie. She had lots of mates in here.
You call them mates. I call her mate and stand by you no matter what. She's been doing that for me for years, and she's been doing it for most of us too.
You're the ones who made her top dog. It's her job. But she hasn't been doing it too well lately.
Well, she was up until yesterday. And after what we've done, I don't suppose she could see there was any point in it anymore.
What do you mean, Lizzie?
What do I mean? She's been running around after us all these years while we've been sucking up to bent screws and money-hungry bloody prisoners.
But that wouldn't be enough to make her go over the wall.
Of course it would. Who'd want to hang around looking after a lot of backstabbers like us?
Okay, so what? You don't need her around all the time telling you what to do. Face the facts. She can't deliver the goods. I can. She gets the salts and goes over the wall. You're still stuck in here, and I've still got the merchandise. So, who needs her?
Does that mean you're still going to keep up the trading and insurance, Nola?
I warned you about asking too many questions, Clark.
Oh, heard anything about B, Mrs. M?
No, nothing. You better start packing up. You'll be going back to your cell shortly.
Oh, can't we watch the late night news?
No, lights out at the usual time.
What they want you for this time, love?
Oh, Pearl wouldn't believe me that we didn't know nothing about Bee's escape. And get this, she reckons I'm pushing drugs.
Drugs?
Yes. She really went off. Anyway, I lost me cool and copped a charge. Hey, Nola, you gonna pay up? I lost phone privileges for a week.
Yeah. Let's see you deliver the merchandise now.
All right. I'll get it. Bloody hell! Smith.
God, I wish Bear hadn't have dropped me in like that. I mean, fair enough, she had to do something, but now the screws are going to be watching me like hawks. Oh, why did she have to dob in one of her mates?
If you're talking about Smith, that's not the only thing she's done.
Oh, what are you on about? Where's me money?
It's not there.
What?
I searched and it's not there. Smith's taken off with all your insurance money.
Oh, why do you think that it had to be her?
All right, we'll find out. Anybody else take it? Anybody else silly enough to think they can hide that much dough from me?
I don't even know where you had it stashed.
None of us did. Then how did Bea find out?
I don't know, but she did somehow.
Oh, I don't believe it. But if she has, good luck to her.
Well, I don't care what's happened. I'm still claiming.
How can I pay if I've been cleaned out?
Speak to the freak. She's your partner. She should be able to scrape together a few dollars after the cut she's been taken.
I can't ask her.
You're gonna have to.
The freak? You mean Ferguson's been the one that's been helping you get the stuff in?
You're a bloody smart bugger, aren't you?
Well, I just thought...
Well, you can stop thinking and you can stop asking, because no one's going to tell you anything you want to know. You're a department spy, and we all know it, so you can just shut up.
Mrs. Powell, is the governor still here?
Yes, why?
I have to see her.
Reason?
I'm sorry, but it's private.
Is it about the escape?
Yes.
Why haven't you come forward with this information before?
Well, I didn't know anything before. I've just heard the women talking.
And now you're going to tell the governor everything the others have said?
Isn't that what you want?
Oh, but Clark, that's lagging. Haven't the women told you what happens to laggers in here?
Please, Mrs. Powell, it's important.
Yes, well, I suppose it is time you reported in. The department wouldn't have heard from you for a few days, would they?
I see. Let's stop playing games and go to the governor's office, shall we?
Come with me. Joe Clark wants to see you.
We'll send her in, please.
Miss Clark?
Mrs. Davidson, the women know I'm from the department. So do the other officers, it seems.
Have you any idea how the women found out, Mrs. Powell?
No, but I'll check it out.
I can't stay here now. Apart from being dangerous, there's no point, is there?
Well, it's too late to contact Mr. Douglas. I'll authorize your release. Would you get the file for me, please, Mrs. Powell? I can't say I'm sorry this exercise is over. I told Mr. Douglas the women would find out about you sooner or later.
Yes, but I'd like to know how. And I'm sure Mr. Douglas would, too.
Morning. Seen the papers?
Of course I have.
Well, they've made us out to look incredibly stupid. The department isn't going to be happy with any of this.
Have you got a minute, Miss Ferguson? We've got a problem.
What is it, Mackenzie?
A certain roll of insurance money that I had hidden in a safe place has gone missing.
That's your problem, Mackenzie, not mine.
Well, who could have got at it?
Not me, if that's what you're trying to pull. How much has gone?
Oh, about 250. Can you think of anybody who'd want that sort of money?
Only someone who was planning an escape?
Exactly. Smith could get quite a long way with that amount. It'd be nice if you could get in touch with the police. But you're having enough trouble with them already, aren't you?
Richard Mackenzie, you're pushing for a charge.
That reminds me. Maxine copped one last night. She wants payment and I can't give it to her.
So?
Well, what about you? You should have quite a lot stashed away.
You've got to be kidding. Besides, I told you, all activities are suspended until further notice.
The women aren't going to be too happy about that.
Well, if they feel that strongly about it, they can come and discuss it with me.
Getting an old lady like me to clean up after a bunch of screws, it's bloody criminal. One of the officers left it around so I'd find it.
Hey, would you get a load of this?
What have you got, a tattoo we haven't seen?
Hey? Nah, it's an uncensored newspaper.
Where'd you score that from?
Well, I asked Po-Face to run out and get me one.
Well, what does it say?
Well, it makes the bloomin' prison security system look stupid, that's what it says. Listen. She created a diversion for herself by casting suspicion on another prisoner. Hey, that's me. Don't mention any names, but gee, it makes it as plain as day that they reckon the whole thing's the freak's fault. Beauty. Good, I know.
This should prove very interesting.
Already seen the papers, Ted.
As if the department's image isn't bad enough. First the women burn the prison down, and now this.
If you read it carefully...
There's nothing careful about it. They've made it sound as if we've asked Smith to step out for a couple of days, and they're right.
Yes, they are right, and they have all the facts down perfectly, especially the part about the officer who practically opened the gate for her. I've sent for Miss Ferguson. Perhaps she can tell you about it.
Oh, that's another thing. How did the women know about Gillian Clark?
I don't know. She has her own ideas about that.
Come in. Now, Miss Ferguson, close the door. I want to know what happened yesterday, firsthand.
Yes, sir. I'm afraid the papers are quite right. Smith set a trap for me, and I fell for it. I realised that I shouldn't have left my post without first organising for a replacement, but I just didn't stop to think. I was more concerned in locating the contraband. I'm very sorry, sir.
Yes, well, the prisoner has escaped and is still at large. Being sorry isn't going to help.
No, sir.
Mrs. Davidson's going to have to make out a full report on this. It's not going to look very good in your record.
I realise that, sir.
Well, I must say I think it's of great pity. Your copybook material up to now. But this matter can't be overlooked.
No.
Yes. Just a moment, Mrs. Powell. Gillian Clark is in reception.
I'll tell them to send her through.
Would you send her to my office, please?
That'll be all, Miss Ferguson.
Will it, sir? I mean, is this the end of the matter?
I shouldn't think so. I'll be discussing it with the board. You'll be informed in due course.
Shall I stay, Mrs. Davidson? Yes, of course. There's no reason why you shouldn't hear any of this.
I'm sorry the plan failed, Mr. Douglas. There was no point me staying after the women found out last night. They wouldn't tell me anything. In fact, from the way they spoke, I think they've known for a couple of days.
What about the escape? Did they know that was going to happen?
Well, I couldn't say for sure, but I don't think so.
I gather you'll be making a report to the department.
Yes, I'll have it ready in a couple of days. Will that be all right, Mr. Douglas?
Yes, of course.
Tell me, Miss Clark, is there anyone trying to take over as top dog now that B. Smith is gone?
Well, I don't know about that. But it is common knowledge that Nola Mackenzie is running things with some sort of insurance scheme that protects the women against punishment.
Oh, so that's what was going on.
But how are they doing all of this without our knowledge?
Easy, with the help of an officer.
And do we know who it is, Miss Clark?
Joan Ferguson.
Yes, well, I knew it. We all did.
What proof have you got?
That's just the problem. You won't find a trace of evidence to show her involvement with any of it. Either she's very clever, or the whole thing's a pack of lies.
Who the hell fed you all that crap? That spy from the department, I suppose.
It has been reported to me that you, with the help of one of the officers, are running a trading racket. Now, is that true or not?
Trading racket? Oh, hell, she's got a vivid imagination.
Don't be smart, Mackenzie. Answer the question.
I wouldn't know how. I mean, what proof does she have?
The women have been caught with various items they can't buy on the normal buy-up. That can of hair colour used by Smith, for instance.
We've already told you we know nothing about that escape.
Oh, this is pointless. Get her out of here.
Get outside.
You're not going to leave it at that, are you?
Well, she's not going to tell us anything, is she? We can't do anything about it unless we find the contraband or catch her actually trading. Besides, the only thing I'm interested in is proving that Ferguson is involved. And if that means biding my time, then I'm prepared to do it.
Excuse me, Governor. Somehow the women have got hold of some uncensored newspaper. I found this on the recreation room board.
Well, we'd better find out how, hadn't we? I don't expect to be told anything, though.
Right, I'll come with you.
Oh, you've got to hand it to Mrs. Morris, don't you? Yeah, she's the only one who's ever given two hoots about any of us.
Now, hang on. I didn't say she was the one who left the paper for me. What are you trying to do, get her into trouble?
Oh, come off it, Lizzie. It's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. It didn't tell us much, did it? We still don't know if Bee's all right or not.
Yeah. At least it made the freak look bad, though, didn't it?
Yeah, we might get rid of her yet.
Hope so.
Right, pay attention. The Governor wants to speak to you.
This clipping was found on the recreation room notice board. I want to know how it got there. I thought as much. Well, there would be no buy-up until I'm given a satisfactory answer.
You bloody idiot. What did you go and do that for? Now we've got no buy-up.
Why are you complaining? You can just rip us off again, can't you?
No way. The freak said no and she meant it.
You're pretty stupid. Do you know that, Maxie?
You leave her alone. Since when have any of you not taken the opportunity to have a go at the freak?
Since it means we all get into trouble, that's when.
God, Lizzie, what's wrong with them?
They haven't got a top dog to keep them together anymore. You just watch them. They'll be at each other's throats in next to no time.
Oh. Hey, I just thought of something.
Here we go.
Well, if we've all lost buy-up, we can all claim, right?
Yeah.
God, you've got a short memory. I haven't got a cent and the freak won't pay, remember?
Like I said, she'll have to. And if we all stick together, we can make her. How? I don't know. Can't think of something straight off, but I will.
Oh, sure. And it'll be just like every other time. She'll come out on top and we'll probably get a thumping for trying it on.
You lot are a mob of panic merchants. I told you we should leave things as they are now. We'll be back in business as soon as things have cooled down.
Meanwhile, we are losing money, not to mention buy-up and remissions and God knows what else till then. Bea wouldn't stand for it, and I don't reckon we should either.
No. I'll be in on that. What about you lot?
Yeah. Well, I reckon it's a great idea, Lizzie.
Yeah. Well, what about the rest of you? Are you with us or not?
There's no point. You know you can't beat her, and you're only burning your bridges. Let all the fuss die down, and we'll start getting our goodies back in no time.
She's got a point there, Lizzie.
Like hell she has. She's only trying to save her own bloody neck.
Well, I don't know if it's worth all the trouble.
God, now I know how Bea must have felt. Look, the only way we can beat the freak is by sticking together. And if we all follow the plan, we can't lose. I'll do all the talking. Now, who's going to be in it? Well, let's go.
They're all very quiet this afternoon. Probably worried about Smith. I doubt it. I think it's forgotten who she is by now.
Oh, what's happening now? Knew that silence was too good to be true.
Yeah.
Miss Ferguson, Mrs. Davidson took away all our buy-up privileges this Arvo, you remember? You were there. We want a claim.
What are you talking about?
It's quite simple, Mrs. Powell. Miss Ferguson's got us all insured against punishment like that. And she owes us all $5 each.
Yes, she does. What are you on about, Birdsworth?
We've all lost our privileges since B went over the wall.
So,
we've all paid our insurance, and that means we can all make a claim. Isn't that right, girls?
Yeah, fair's fair. We want our dough, so you better pay up.
insurance scheme, eh? Tell me more.
You're running it. That's all we need to know.
Accusing an officer is a very serious charge, Daniels. Wouldn't you say so, Mrs. Powell?
Yes, it certainly is, Miss Ferguson.
Perhaps you'd like to repeat it to the governor and fill her in on the illegal activities you claim are going on.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things we could tell her about smuggling and insurance and the screw that's getting a chop.
Yeah. Reckon you could do your job over something like that?
No officer would risk her job bringing in goods for you lot. But we do know that there's smuggling going on. And I'm sure the governor would be most interested in which prisoners are involved.
We've got a thing or two that I reckon we could tell her about a screw's involvement. What do you reckon, everyone? What's the matter with you buggers?
And a change of heart, have you? I thought so. And the next time you go sounding off, you'll all be up on charges.
All right, everyone inside. Unless, of course, you've got something else you want to say.
What's the matter with you two? You heard the bell. Playtime's over. Don't go reading any fairy stories, Birdsworth. You might start confusing things again.
Dirty mongrel! And a great bloody help you lot were.
Geez, what could we do, Lizzie? She's got a way of looking right through you.
You could have backed me up, that's what you could have done, instead of shoving off with your bloody tails between your legs. Oh.
Yeah, well, I did my best, Lizzie.
Yeah, you did, love, but nobody else did. We had something on her for a change. All we had to do was stand together.
You had nothing on her, you stupid old bitch. She's a pro. She didn't even bat an eyelid.
I reckon she was running scared.
Bull. She had you, and she knew it. You should have all listened to me.
Oh, fat little good that would have done.
Whatever that bitch Clark told the screws, they couldn't prove a thing against me. But now, thanks to our lagger here, they know for sure there's a racket going on.
Don't you call me a lagger?
Why not? Davo's going to be looking at whoever's running this insurance scheme, isn't she?
Yeah, the freak.
And if she decides it's not the freak, she's going to start looking at us. They're going to tighten up things so much around here, we won't be able to get so much as a burnt-out fag into this joint from now on.
Ferguson's on her way.
Thank you, Mrs. Powell.
What did you make of Lizzie's outburst?
Well, she certainly confirmed there's some scheme running. We'll have to do something about it. The department will think that the security regulations here are laughable.
Oh, surely this time they'll see exactly where the problem lies.
Well, Ted Douglas is coming over for drinks at my place this evening. Perhaps we could have an informal talk about it.
Well, wish you luck. You wanted to see me, Governor?
Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Powell. Miss Ferguson, the women tell me you're running an insurance scheme.
Just another one of their tricks. They soon became very quiet when I threatened to bring them to you about it.
Yes, I know they're unwilling to talk about it. I also have a fair idea why.
Are you accusing me of anything, Governor?
No, but I do have to take the matter seriously. They are not the only complaints I've received.
You mean Jill Clark?
Yes.
Her reports are hardly factual.
Why do you say that?
The women knew from the beginning that she was working for the department. They probably fed her all kinds of rot.
I am taking that into account. I'm curious to know how you found out about her.
Any fool could have picked it. She asked too many questions. Her cover was sloppy, and she had no conviction.
How do you know that?
Well, I thought it rather strange when you and Mr. Douglas visited her in solitary. So I rang the courts.
You had no right to do that. It did not concern you.
I thought it did.
Very well. I have no proof of your involvement. But a corrupt officer is a very serious matter.
Of course.
If I get the slightest shred of evidence, I can assure you your employment will terminate immediately. Is that understood?
Yes, Governor. But I can assure you, you won't find any.
Squeak Birdsworth. What the hell do you think you were doing this afternoon?
Nothing, Miss Ferguson.
You were trying to embarrass me in front of the deputy governor. Yes. You were trying to make sure that the governor heard all sorts of unpleasant things about me.
I didn't mean it.
Fancy yourself as top dog now that Smith's gone, do you?
No.
Oh, I hope not. That's no place for an old woman with a weak heart. And it is weak, isn't it, Birdsworth?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, Miss Ferguson.
That's better. Now, you just remember, Birdsworth, I can come in here any time I like. And that'd be a terrible strain on a bad heart. So you just keep your mouth shut from now on. I don't want my name connected with insurance schemes or anything else. You got that, Birdsworth? Good. I'm glad we understand each other.
Maxie.
Trust me to get shoved in here when something like this happens. I should be out there helping that kid.
Yeah, poor little bugger. Don't reckon he really did it, though, do you?
Oh, of course he bloody well didn't. That stupid mole was probably so out of it she didn't know what was going on.
It's Lindy that I'm worried about. The poor kid just got over one bad experience and now this happens.
Yeah, but she's got no right to go blaming Trevor, has she?
But you did say it was a bit strange, always sneaking up on people.
He was shy, that's all.
I just wish I could talk to Lindy and find out what really happened.
Hey, do any of you want to put anything on this list for Davo?
Oh, yeah, put me down for one bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, might have a try for that bikie. Never know your luck.
I thought Davo said to keep to the basics. Someone's put down here 6 joints and a ticket out of here.
What does it matter what we ask for? They'll knock it all back anyway.
Well, they sure as hell will if you turn this one in. I
don't care. I'll be out of here. I'm glad I won't be around to see the results.
That's what you said last time. Your trouble is you can't keep away from here.
It's too true, Lizzie, but come on, all kidding aside. You're always at them because they don't give you anything, and then when they suggest it, you knock it. Now, that's kind of dumb, don't you think? You really might get something this time. Does everyone reckon we should give it a good try?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Come on, Phyllis, start again, love. Now, what we need are things like cushions for the rec room, that sort of thing.
Good on you, Helen. And you can front up to Davo when we've finished the list. You're the only one around here with any good ideas. I can't wait to have me Sunday sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah, just think of it. We can sleep in until sunrise. See you at brunch, Miss Ferguson.
Get going, smart.
Girls will be girls. Eh, Miss Ferguson?
Okay, sleep tight, Lizzie.
I would if I could have a drink.
Come on, move along.
Night, Miss Ferguson.
Nola's a creep. She really worries me.
We'll be all right.
Try and wait till lights out, you two. You'll give the place a bad name.
Now that's a creep.
Oh, time for a patrol.
Oh, I'll do it if you like.
No, don't bother. They'll all be asleep by now anyway.
Well, have a look in on the new ones, will you? I got the impression they were scared stiff.
Oh, I'm sure they can console each other.
What do you mean?
Nothing, except that they seem to be very close friends. Anyway, I'd say Dobson's been around a bit. She knows what to expect.
Well, she hasn't been in prison before. She's very touchy about those tattoos when she came in.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry about it. That type can take care of herself.
She knows.
Wake up, Australia. She's a dyke. She thinks I'm a girl just like everyone else. It's all right.
You're gonna see me.
Not if they see me first. Anyway, they don't matter. I love you.
Getting a few whiskers.
As many as Miss Ferguson.
You two should be more careful. Try not to be so obvious.
Wonder what they were on about.
Oh, just girl talk, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the lesbian said about that, the better.
That's enough, Daniels. Hurry up and get to the showers.
Oh, wow. And wash your mouth up while you're about it.
Well, everything's okay in the showers. Good God, what's that?
That rubbish the women ordered? Look at that.
One guess who that's for.
The place will be looking like a whorehouse before they're finished.
How come they delivered it so early and on a Sunday?
How should I know? Officer Sharp accepted it all. If I'd been here, they wouldn't have got through the door.
Well, it wasn't our idea, it was the department's. This is for Lizzie.
You think it's funny, don't you?
Well, I think it's harmless.
We'll see. I'm going to put all this stuff in the storeroom.
Well, I don't think there's any need to do that.
Can't stay here.
But the department's okayed it. We'll give it to the women after breakfast.
So tomorrow, Henley?
All right.
All right, Miss Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Right. You make your bed up, and then you can join the other women in the recreation room. It's down that corridor. And you're to read that.
What is it?
Read it and find out. I want it learnt in 24 hours, if you want to stay out of trouble. No, we just got a new one. Henley, first timer.
What's she in on?
Theft. They're giving out all that rubbish yet?
Yes, a few of the women are doing up their cells now.
Won't be the end of it, you know. They want more and more.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah, we'll see, all right. It'll lead to less security and more demands. And when they don't get what they want, oh, yeah, we'll see, all right.
The only time we've ever had trouble with these women is when they've been badly treated. I'm just surprised the department has woken up to itself. A pity a few more people can't do the same.
Oh, tidy all those things up, love. The service will be on soon.
Oh, well, I want to put these up in me dorm.
Well, you can do it later. Stay for the service. A bit of religion won't do you any harm.
Oh, Lizzie, I don't want to.
Well, it won't hurt you, and you've got all those lovely things to give thanks for. Oh, where have you been? You missed all the fun.
We thought we'd better lie low. We've been in our dorm.
Yeah, and it gets a bit boring.
Yeah? You wouldn't be bored if you came back to mine. Joke, Joyce.
Well, don't be so bloody dirty. It's Sunday.
How long do you think you're going to keep this up?
Why?
We just want to stay together, that's all.
Yeah, and why not? You just leave them alone.
It's nothing to me. I just want to see the looks on their faces when they find out you're a bloke.
Well, they're not going to find out, because when I'm finished with him, he'll look like Miss Australia. A bit suspect in a swimsuit, of course, but... Come over here, love.
Hey! Where'd you get that?
Okay, my secret is out. I shave my legs.
Keep knit, will you, love?
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you haven't got any whiskers, just a bit of bum fluff.
How do you feel about being a transformed woman?
Go for your life.
Well, when I'm finished with you, you'll feel like a new woman. And you can have your pick of any one of them here.
Now, don't you go too heavy with the makeup. You don't want him to look like a pro.
Lizzie, watch it.
Screws.
Well, relax. We're not doing anything wrong.
Right, ladies, now who's staying for the service?
You can count me out.
I am Mrs. M, and so's Maxie.
Come on, Ellen, we can finish this later.
You don't mind, do you, love?
No, I guess not.
Good. Now, you listen to the words, because they're really lovely.
Just how long did you think you could keep this little charade going? You don't realise, do you? The number of charges the department could throw at you for pulling a stunt like this. Oh, my God, you are stupid little fools. Okay. You think this place is scary, do you? You just wait until you hit Woodridge, boy. I suppose all of the others have been in on this. Well, come on. I want to know who else knows about this.
Answer, Mrs. Powell, please.
No one. Just us and Maxie.
Oh, yes. In this place, that'd be easy to believe. Oh, my God. When I find out who is involved in this, there's going to be hell to pay. All right. Take Miss Farmer to isolation. He'll have to stay there until we decide what to do with him. Then will you come straight back and see me? In the meantime, I'll get in touch with Mrs. Davidson, see if she's got any ideas what to do. Although I doubt whether she's ever been in a situation like this before.
Well, I was only mucking around. How was I to know she was standing there watching?
It was a bloody stupid thing to do, Maxine, and you know it.
Yeah, it's not so funny now, is it? Your little plan backfired nicely on the lot of you. You'll be sent for later. And as for your boyfriend, I doubt if you'll be seeing him for a long time.
Lousy bitch. Well, they would have found out sooner or later anyway. You know that. Just how long do you reckon you could have fooled them?
Well, if you'd laid off him, they might never have found out.
Oh, yeah? And what about Ferguson? You saw the way she was sizing him up. She would have had a go at him sooner or later.
The deputy governor looked like she was going to kill us. Oh, what do you reckon's going to happen to Alan?
Your guess is as good as mine. I bet they've never come up against anything like this before. Where is he now?
I've sent him to isolation. Oh, God. What if they do send him to Woodridge? He's never been inside before. He'll freak.
Who said anything about Woodridge?
Pal.
I wouldn't worry about it. They'll probably give him bail while they sort this out.
Maybe his family could stand bail for him. I could get in touch with him. No, can't do that. I hate my guts as it is. He'd never hear the end of it.
Well, what about somebody else then?
Who? There isn't anyone. We've only got each other. First time we've been apart since we met.
Come on, love. They haven't split you up forever. Now, come on. Crying isn't going to help him. You got mates in here. Well, some anyway.
What are you talking about? They very nearly did. If it hadn't been for Daniels, would have never found out about it.
What did Mrs. Davidson say?
Oh, I couldn't get through to her. I'll try again later. God knows what I'm going to say to her, though.
Or more to the point, what she's going to say to you.
It's put us all in a very awkward position. We've all been taken for a ride this time.
Just the same, I'm sure Douglas will be able to narrow the blame down to Erica and myself.
Oh, no, he won't. There are far too many people involved.
And there are going to be a lot more, especially if the press get hold of it. God, first we have a prisoner walk out of the gates in broad daylight, and now this. They're going to think Wentworth's run by a bunch of idiots.
It's not what I mean. According to Dobson, it was the arresting officer who made the original slip. Then it was carried on through the court. How could you possibly be expected to know?
That's all very well. But what Douglas and the department will make of it, doesn't bear thinking about. Come on, ladies, let's get back to work. And could we remember in the meantime that the fewer people who know about this, the better?